And the Most High gave us this custom so that we would always be prepared as a people. Okay? So I'm just bringing it out because, you know, a lot of our people just think it's just a carnal act of, oh, we're going to just be intense. And, oh, we just supposed to cook. And, oh, we're just supposed to rejoice and celebrate. No, but it's also a preparation for things to come. Okay? All right. So it says here, we kept it as it was commanded in the law and offered sacrifice daily as was meet. Go ahead to the next verse.
First Esdras 5 and 52. And after that, the continual obligations and the sacrifice of the Sabbaths and of the new moons and of all holy feasts.
Okay, that's that. And after that, the continual oblations.
Oh,
mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
Oblations and the sacrifice of the Sabbaths and of the new moons and of all holy feasts. So we kept the custom and we kept all of the holy feasts. Okay. I appreciate that. Well, we're gonna go over to to the end of the Apocrypha. Let's go over here to the book of Maccabees. Let's go to Maccabees 1 and look at again how this custom was kept, and it was very seriously kept and observed. First Maccabees chapter 10. And we'll start at verse 21. Okay, go ahead.
First Maccabees 10, verse 21. So in the 7th month of the 116th year of the Feast of Tabernacles, Jonathan put on the holy robe and gathered together forces and provided much armor.
Okay, stop. So in the 7th month of the 160th year.
Wow.
Okay. So it says right here, Jonathan, and it was during the year of the Feast of Tabernacles, you know, the Feast of Tabernacles, Jonathan put on the holy robe. So right here, we see that even at a time of war and preparation, we still kept the feast. Right? Let's hop on over. Second Maccabees, another example. Go to Second Maccabees chapter 1. I'm going to start at verse 18.
Second Maccabees chapter 1 verse 18. Therefore, whereas we are now purposed to keep the purifications of the temple upon the flue and the phi and 20th day of the month, Caslu, we thought it necessarily to certify you thereof, that ye also might keep it as the feast of the tabernacles.
So here we see that in the Maccabees they were persuading, okay, to tell other people to keep the feast, okay, of tabernacles. Go ahead.
And of the fire which was given us, when Nehemus offered sacrifice. After that, he had built the temple and the altar.
So again, here we go with the Maccabees again, persuading other Israelites to also keep the Feast of Tabernacles. Swing over to Maccabees chapter 2. Start at verse 10.
Maccabees chapter 2, verse 10.
Second Maccabees chapter 10.
Oh, chapter 10.
Slack it. Second Maccabees 10.
All right, Second Maccabees 10.
And we're going to start at 6.
Verse 6. All right, Second Maccabees 10, verse 6. And they kept 8 days with gladness as in the Feast of Tabernacles, remembering that not long afore they had held the Feast of Tabernacles, when as they wandered in the mountains and in dens like beasts.
Okay, so here we see again, we kept the feast joyfully with gladness. Why? We were remembering what? That not long what?
Before they had held the Feast of Tabernacles, when they as they wandered in the mountains.
When we wandered in the mountains. So again, as our people migrated, we moved around. we kept the feast. We kept the feast because we were wandering. We were like nomads. We were like pilgrims upon the earth, as it says in 2nd Esdras. Okay? And we wandered in the mountains and dens like beasts. Okay? So, let's see. I hope that everybody's getting an understanding of the importance of why we keep the feast, why we cook and we rejoice, why we dwell in the tents. But let's establish what's going to happen when the kingdom is set up. Okay? And we're going to close this lesson out, but I want to establish what's going to happen in the future. Okay? Let's get Zechariah. We're going to go to Zechariah chapter 14. Now, Zechariah
14.
We're going to start at 16.
Zechariah 14, verse 16. And it shall come to pass that everyone that is left of all the nations which come against Jerusalem shall even go upon from year to year to worship the King of the Lord of hosts.
Of hosts.
And to keep the Feast of Tabernacles.
They're going to keep what?
The Feast of Tabernacles.
So it says in Zechariah, it's going to come to pass in the future that everyone that's left of all the nations, let's see, everyone that's left from all of the nations, okay, that came against Jerusalem. So everyone that's going to come against us, okay, in that last day, let's see what happens to them, because something has to happen to them that's left that came against us. So they're going to come against us, but a lot of them going to get destroyed. But the ones that's left, what are they going to be doing? It says they shall go up from year to year. Aren't we still doing that now? Year to year, in the 7th month, we are keeping the Feast of Tabernacle. But what are the other nations that are going to do that will have to finally bow down to when Yashariah comes to destroy the governments and the people that come against him in this earth? It says they will go up year to year to worship the King. Worship the King and the Lord of hosts. But what's mostly important? And to keep what?
The Feast of Tabernacles.
The Feast of who?
Tabernacles.
The Feast of Tabernacles. That's why this is so important to keep now. Because if you're not aware of this feast and you come against the children of Israel in that last day, in that time that's near upon us now, you're going to be destroyed. And only the remnant that is going to understand that is then going to come up to serve and worship the King, which is Yashariah, from year to year, and then we will be keeping the Feast of Tabernacles. Continue to the next verse.
Zechariah 14 and 17.
Let's see what happens if you think I'm lying.
And it shall be that whoso will not come up of all the families of the earth.
How many families of the earth?
All the families of the earth.
How many nations of the earth?
All the families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain.
No rain, meaning no favor, no blessings. Why? Let's keep reading.
Verse 18. And if the family of Egypt go up, not up, and come not, that have no rain, there shall be the plague within the Lord will smite.
Okay, stop. If they don't come up, there's going to be the plague. If you don't know what plague means destruction. Destruction. And if somebody smites you, if you don't know what that means to put some hands on you. Or that means to do something to you in a very definitive negative way. Continue.
will smite the heathen.
The who?
The heathen.
The who?
The heathen.
Non-Israelites.
That come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles.
To keep the Feast of what?
Tabernacles.
So this is why it's so important for you to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. Because even if you are a Gentile heathen and you don't know to keep the Feast of Tabernacles, something's very bad is going to happen to you. Not my words. The Most High's words. Okay? You will have to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. So why not practice now? Why you are not under the vengeance and the wrath of the Lord? Why you have free will to do so? Okay? Because again, Christ did not come to do away with the law nor the prophets. So you should be keeping this feast as a continual feast forever. In the kingdom to come, forever. While you're breathing right now, it's forever. Our forefathers that did it knew it was forever. So it doesn't change. Okay? Let's get verse 19 and we're going to wrap this up and close it out.
Verse 19. This shall be the punishment.
The what?
The punishment.
The who?
The punishment.
Okay.
Of Egypt and the punishment of all nations.
Stop. Of all who?
Nations.
All nations. This is going to be your punishment. So you have an opportunity now to keep the Feast of Tabernacles without being punished. You have an opportunity to learn how to survive without being punished. You have an opportunity to learn how to live off the grid, because that's what this society has puffed us up to do, without being punished. We have favor right now. So it says, and this shall be the punishment of Egypt and the punishment of all nations. Go ahead.
This shall be the punishment of Egypt and the punishment of all nations that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles.
Wow. So if you don't want to come up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles, there will be a judgment. There will be plague. You will be smited, and there will be punishment. So I pray that y'all receive this lesson in good faith and good heart. I pray that you have a better understanding of the purpose of the Feast of Tabernacles and that you keep it. I'd like to say the water to my brother Wayne for reading for me. I'm going to close this lesson out, and I'd like to say shalom.
Shalom. GoPro, stop recording.